Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, everybody. Whenever you're watching this is Keith Engel with my weekly vlog. And as always, a little abrupt end to the music. Sorry about that. As always, I'll try not to take up too much of your time today. But I got to talk about something that's got me really excited. And that is the college football expansion moving to 2024. I think it'd be better if it was 2023. This is moved from 2026. One of the big holdups was the Rose Bowl. You know, they've been protecting their New Year's Day 4:45 slot, TV contracts with the bowl games and some other things. And those things have all been worked out, which I've been rooting for. I've been rooting for chaos in this year's college football playoff rankings to ensure that this would happen. We got enough of it, I think, to make it move up. It was in everybody's best interest, right? I mean, the 14 playoff this year looks pretty set. USC could be on the outside looking in if they were to lose their conference championship. There's a lot of arguments for this. It's more inclusive. I think I'd still like to see a 16-team playoff. Again, I don't want to get Basement Bob, as the Mad New Yorker calls him, on my trail to sue me again for talking about a 16-team playoff. But I'd rather see a 16-team playoff where every conference champion gets in, because I don't think that would dilute the regular season. You'd still have 6 at-larges. There's still going to be incentive to win your conference championship. And let's concentrate on the 12-team playoff, since that's what we're going to have. You know, all of these conference championships and all of the regular season games still are important, because you got a shot at getting a bye by getting one of those top 4 spots. And you're going to need to be a conference champion to get one going forward. Because the top 6 slots go to the highest ranked conference champions. And then the next 6 are the next highest ranked players or teams. And just to kind of give you an idea how it would work, you get those 4 byes, and let me find it. I've got a model here that kind of shows us if we were to have a 12-team playoff this year, and it started like right now, what would that look like? I don't know what I did with it. I had this all ready earlier, and I got distracted by something else. I'll find it, though. Don't worry. What would a 12-team playoff look like? Here it would be. Your byes, of course, would be Georgia and Michigan, 1 and 2. Number 4, USC, and number 3, TCU would all have byes. Michigan would get to the Orange Bowl. TCU would be in the Cotton Bowl. USC would be in a Rose Bowl. Georgia would be in a Sugar Bowl. So they're still trying to, at least this first year, the bowl games will be the Rose. This is the first round games. I shouldn't say that. The first round games will be played at the teams, the team with the higher seeds, home field, or whatever field they designate they want to play at. Then on a rotating basis, you would have these other 6 bowls, the ones I just mentioned, and the Peach and the Fiesta, would rotate whether they were going to be quarterfinal games, semifinal games, and then the final would be held at a different site. So here you still got some, they've still got some, if they break it out this way, you still got some traditional allegiances to where these teams went and played. You won't always be able to do that, but Georgia playing in the Sugar Bowl is apropos, because that's where historically the SEC champion went to. USC to the Rose Bowl, Pac-12. Michigan to the Orange Bowl. Usually there's one at-large team that gets invited to the Orange Bowl, so that still plays. And then the Cotton Bowl TCU, which always had Southwest Conference / Big 12 tie-ins, so that kind of works kind of cool. The other teams in 5 would be Ohio State. They would play number 12 Tulane at Ohio State. I would assume that Ohio State would play at the Horseshoe. Penn State, let me go over to number 6, Alabama would play number 11, Utah. Again, I would assume Alabama would play this game in Tuscaloosa, but maybe they'd go to Atlanta. Who knows? The way I understand it, it will be up to that team and maybe the conference, I don't know, where they would play. Number 7, Tennessee would be in and playing number 10, Kansas State. And number 9, Clemson would play number 8, Penn State. So to your those worried that the regular season is going to be cheapened. Well, the regular season for those group of 5 teams is going to be huge. There is a possibility that you could have a group of 5 team get the highest conference, one of those 6 automatic bids, and get in the at-large if they played well enough. Now, those 6 at-larges are going to go to Notre Dame and the runners up to the Power 5 conferences more often than not, I'm sure. But that's okay because they're the best teams. The best teams need to get in here. And who gets left out in this scenario? Are we really going to get excited about anybody that might get left out? Really? Are we? Look at the rankings. The only team to me that here's the teams, because Tulane's number 12, remember, so we go down to number 11, Utah, in this week's playoff rankings. Washington would be out. They could have a gripe, but this is why their regular season's important. They lost a big game at UCLA. Lost another game in conference. Florida State had a couple of losses in the ACC. LSU out. Now, maybe LSU, if they were to win the championship game this weekend, would move into those top 11 spots, but there's no guarantee of that. And I don't have a problem if they're not in. So there's nobody outside of there that I think has a legitimate gripe. Maybe Washington could say, we're better. And this will change, by the way. Kansas State could fall out of these rankings if they lose to TCU this week. And Washington would move up. Florida State could move up if Clemson loses to North Carolina. North Carolina theoretically could move into a spot in the playoff. They'd have to jump from 23 to 12. That would be one of the interesting things. The ACC theoretically would not have one of the highest ranked conference winners. It's possible. Again, as I look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Five. There's a possibility that one of the Power 5 conferences would not be the highest ranked. 6. So there's a chance that they could make this work. Not a chance they could make this work. There's a chance that the regular season is more important. So every game in the regular season matters. They say that now. Every game in the regular season matters. And I agree. A bad loss now kills you. But now a bad loss doesn't kill Oregon. Oregon still would have been alive, and they were. They might have been alive and survived 2 losses. And conference championship games this weekend, are they important? If you want to buy, it is. Michigan's still going to have a bye if they lose to Purdue this weekend. Is Georgia still going to have a bye if they lose to LSU? Georgia probably would. No, they wouldn't. There wouldn't be a conference champion. Hello? So theoretically, Michigan, the Big Ten could go without having a guaranteed bid if Michigan were to lose to Purdue. That might be the only. LSU, I guess. The SEC, the ACC. So you got three possibilities where a Power 5 conference wouldn't be in the top 6. It's possible. Unlikely. But one of those three could be out. Not out. They'd probably get in that large bid. So don't tell me the games don't count. They're all going to count. And don't give me this. I've gotten this argument a lot the last few weeks on my college football huddle. Don't tell me that we're just handing out participation trophies, okay? These teams have had to play an entire season to have the opportunity to become one of these 12 teams. And they still got to win to get a real trophy. There's no trophies being given out for losing in the first round. And there's no sterner hater of participation trophy syndrome than me. I'm not giving kids trophies just for showing up. But the kids who go out and win Little League tournaments or college football championships, right? They're all getting into playoffs with more than 4 teams, by the way. So please, SEC elitists mostly, who think you deserve to have all 4 teams in the way it is today, don't throw through this participation extension of the participation trophy syndrome at me, because that's baloney. Tulane hasn't had the opportunity to participate against these schools. Now they get a chance. And if they were to win it all, they'd get a trophy. Would it be undeserved? Is that what you're telling me? Ridiculous thinking. This is all a good thing. It preserves all of the opportunities for teams, everybody in the country, when the season starts, has a chance to get into this 12-team field. Everybody. It's always going to be possible. The Sun Belt, the Conference USA, we know the American Conference, the Mountain West could have a representative in this tournament, potentially 2. It's possible one of the Power 5 conferences won't have one of the byes. It's possible, depending on how things break. So do the games matter as much in the regular season? Do the championship games matter? They do. So let's not get excited about, we're watering down the games. The things that are happening with realignment is watering down college football more than anything. Ruining traditional rivalries is ruining college football. Not this. This is a good thing. I'm sure some of these schools would like to roll back the clock now that we've got a 12-team playoff and not putting themselves into some of the realignment situations they have. Hello, Nebraska. We should be happy this is happening. We should only be unhappy that it's not happening in 23. Because right now you've got the possibility this year, and I'm okay, with a 10-2 Alabama team getting into a 12-team playoff. I have no problem with that. Same with Tennessee. Same with Ohio State. I might have a problem with one of those teams playing for the national championship this year. You want to talk about participation trophies, SEC elitists. How about USC plays for their conference championship and loses, and Alabama, who didn't even get in their conference champion, leapfrogs them into number 4. There's your participation trophy. Thanks for showing up. Doesn't matter that you weren't even, second best in your conference. The games matter. If they don't, just move Alabama into into the top rankings. Notre Dame wouldn't even be in this year. They still have to work. They got a 1-6 shot because they're not playing in a conference. They still got a 1-6 shot. They got a 1-4 shot now. This is better for Notre Dame. This is better for every conference. They've got more chances to get in a chance to play for a national championship. This is good for TV. This is good for the bowl games. I only wish it was happening now. This would be an exciting year. I would argue, by the way, I was just talking about this, potential this year. Where'd you go now, you little, excuse my French, Sports Illustrated. Here we go. So Penn State and Clemson would play. That's a toss-up. Tulane and Ohio State, okay. Tulane's got no shot. Tennessee, Kansas State would hook her out. Anything's possible there. Alabama, Utah, anything's possible there. Then you got the Alabama-Utah winner against TCU. Anything's possible there. Tennessee against Michigan. Penn State or Clemson against Georgia. What a matchup, Clemson and Georgia, eh? Ohio State against USC in the Rose Bowl. Hello, tradition. My point here being 11 teams here would have a chance to win this national championship in my mind. It's a no-brainer, guys. Get with the program. It is time for this. Long past time for this. We tried 14 playoff. Worked good for what it was for. It was better than the BCS. The BCS, I don't even know if that was better than the polls deciding national championship, but this is for the best. Keith Angle for TGI Sports Talk. You agree? Good for college football. Bad for college football? Feel free to tell me I'm nuts. I don't care. I'll catch you next week with my vlog. Whatever exciting then.